All right, you found it. It's the area's most in-depth weather forecast video. This is the edition for Wednesday evening, the 20th day of November, 2024, and we have no shortage of weather happenings in our forecast. We've already had an eventful day today and the next couple of days. We've got wind, we've got rain, and yes, we have some snow to talk about here in Northeast Ohio and Northwest PA. But that cold front really meant some business earlier on. The temperature at the airport dropped from 62 at 2 p.m. down to 41 at 7 p.m., a good 20 degrees over the course of 5 hours. That is a pretty nice temperature drop, and, it went pretty much as expected as far as the timing of things today, and also the wind behaved pretty much as expected. We had a peak gust at the Youngstown Warren Regional Airport of 42, 52 over in Akron, 46 was the number in New Philly, and this was enough to produce some scattered power outages across our viewing area today. At one point, over 2,000 were without power in Columbiana County, and thankfully we missed out on true severe weather in our local, viewing area today. That was a little bit of a different story, though, not far to our south and east. Several reports of wind damage. We had a tornado warning for a brief time in parts of the Pittsburgh metro area. And actually, the Pittsburgh Weather Service office will send out some survey teams over the next couple of days to see if we had actual tornadic damage, especially east of downtown Pittsburgh. It's possible. There were a couple of signatures on the radar for a time that suggested we had some debris being lofted in the air. That was late in the 4 o'clock hour, early in the 5 o'clock hour, earlier on this evening. But tornado or not, we had a lot of wind problems and some power outages as a result in western Pennsylvania. But the colder air is here, and it's here to stay. We have temperatures ahead of the front, still up in the 50s and 60s, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia. But then behind the front where we are, we've dropped into the upper 30s to around 40. There's even colder air out across the upper Midwest. Now, that really true Arctic air is not really going to settle in as far south as we are, but yeah, it's going to be cold for sure next couple of days, especially for our Thursday. In the meantime, just off to our east, we just had tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings in some places that currently have winter storm warnings out, mostly in the higher terrain across the Appalachians. In southern PA, you get up into some elevations of 2,000, 2,500 feet. The highest spot in Pennsylvania is down in this part of the state. And then, of course, the very mountainous in West Virginia, down through here, Elkins, places like that, just east of Morgantown. You get some elevations there up to 3,000 feet or so. And this is a classic upslope situation coming their way, especially late in the day tomorrow and into tomorrow night and parts of Friday even, with the snow coming down hot and heavy over there. I think some places are going to probably see double-digit totals worth of snow, and that'll be up in the highest peaks of West Virginia and far southern Pennsylvania, the panhandle of Maryland as well. But in our viewing area, you may be a little more familiar with kind of the I-80 corridor just to our east, over towards DuBois, Clearfield, I shouldn't say double digit, 2, 3, 4 inches of snow, perhaps even, up to 5 or 6 is going to be a possibility in through there. And that's why winter weather advisories are out for that part of Pennsylvania. Anyone doing some traveling along I-80 or along the PA Turnpike, which is I-70, across the southern tier of PA, you're going to have to, use some caution late in the day on Thursday and into Thursday night and Friday. In our viewing area, we're still expecting not much more than a slushy covering to probably less than an inch at worst. And most of this would occur tomorrow night, Thursday night. A little bit closer to our area, I'll actually go backwards a little bit here on the animation, show you a little bit closer to our viewing area. Could there be some slushy 1 to 2 inch amounts? Mansfield, the I-71 corridor, some pretty hilly terrain over there, and some of the hills south of Cleveland, up into parts of Geauga County, kind of the prime snowbelt areas away from the lake, kind of south of I-90. Could someone see a couple of slushy inches there? Yes, but in our true television viewing area, that doesn't seem quite as likely. I think we'll have to watch for a few slick spots, though, tomorrow night. Now, during the daylight hours on Thursday, we're going to see passing snow flurries, maybe a raindrop trying to mix in from time to time, but this will be the first time we see snowflakes for the season. Just damp roads, though, for our Thursday. Now, as we go to Thursday night, and first thing, and I mean very first thing Friday morning, we'll see an increase in moisture across the area, and also temperatures overnight will try to drop pretty close to freezing. This may lead to some, small slushy accumulations, mostly Thursday night. But already by midday on Friday, we've stopped the animation here at 10:30 in the morning. Mostly green in Northeast Ohio. We're actually going to see kind of a weird setup where we're going to get warm advection from the north. Usually when winds are coming out of the north, that's pulling in colder air. But in this circumstance, with this orientation of this storm system, We're actually going to see warmer temperatures being shuttled in on Friday. We'll get into the 40s, and so anything that does manage to stick, especially to the grass, Thursday night, there's going to be no evidence of it by midday on Friday as we get into the 40s. And a wind-driven rain. What a nasty, nasty Friday and Friday night. It's just going to rain, and the wind is going to gust to 30 miles per hour. And, temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s to around 40. Yuck. We're going to hang on to those pretty crummy conditions right through Saturday morning. We'll probably try to see some modest improvement by Saturday afternoon, with maybe more pronounced improvement coming our way on Sunday. Next week, Thanksgiving, and the trends are colder. We've been talking about in the longer range thoughts here that we're going to see a cool down, it looks like, at the end of the month and into December, but already the colder air may be starting to make some inroads by Turkey Day. We start next week fairly mild, but by Thanksgiving itself, we may not get out of the 30s, and some of the modeling does suggest that we'll have some wintry precipitation concerns at some point during Thanksgiving weekend. Still too early to speculate on a lot of details on that, but some of the modeling today did have a decent low-pressure system winding up through the mid-Atlantic states, probably late in the day Thursday into Friday, so Thanksgiving night into the day after. We're not going to take that to the bank, but some of the trends on the modeling are certainly interesting for parts of Thanksgiving weekend. And, especially the day before Thanksgiving and the Sunday after Thanksgiving, those are big-time travel days. So we're really going to focus a lot on those wintry weather threats as they come into more focus as we get a little bit closer to the holiday next week. In the meantime, thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks on this Wednesday evening. I'll see you back here on Thursday. Have a great rest of your night.